Last week, Twitter started to sell the blue check marks.
Gen Zs and younger audiences are actually very likely to look for an item on their social platforms first, before going to Google.
The reason for Meta's massive layoffs is ghosts in the machine. Welcome to episode 37 of TechReview. Every 2 weeks we gather to discuss the hottest topics in technology, innovation and social media. And on camera 3 today we have Vincent, on camera 2 today we have Henrike, and on camera 1, this is me, hi, I'm Tarek. And of course, you are invited to join us in the chat if you are watching this live. TechReview is a collaboration of Ideas Engineering, Free Tech Academy and Upday.com. You can watch us live and record it on YouTube, but if you prefer to listen to us on just our wonderful voices, you are invited to visit us on Spotify, Apple Podcast and all major podcast platforms. So, let's have a look at what happened this week in the news. There. So today we are going to start with Henrike and Twitter.
Okay, so this article is from the Washington Post. Hope you can open it. And this is a week-old news. You might have heard that last week on November 9th, Twitter started to sell the blue check marks for $8, combined with a subscription to Twitter Blue. And then on late Thursday, November 10th, they stopped it again because users started to abuse it for imposter accounts. And Twitter has said that this is, not allowed, and people who do that will face suspension. Like one comedian who changed her Twitter screen name to Elon Musk, but actually I think it was not only one. I think multiple people did that, which were not so amusing for Elon Musk. But at the end of the day, it's very little that stops you from actually getting a fake account. And the author of this Washington Post article, he also said what he needed were 3 things: a spare iPhone, a credit card, and a little bit of creativity when it comes to changing the names of other people and make it look like their account. Another fact is that Twitter did not really inform users that the meaning of the check marks have changed. Only if you follow along Elon Musk's, tweets and everything he says about product development, then you were actually aware of what's happening. But I mean, not everyone is doing so. But also he changed his mind quite frequently. So I just want to quote one part of the article where they say, in a matter of days, he's variously suggested notable and official accounts will keep their blue check marks and that they'll be swapped for gray check marks. On Thursday morning, he tweeted that all legacy blue check marks will have to be removed in the months ahead because too many are corrupt. So nobody actually knows, okay, what in the end is happening. And you can also not really rely on the little pop-ups that we just saw when you scroll down, Tarek, because the author also said that his fake accounts had the wrong pop-up kind of displayed. So, also if nobody really knows how the old verification system worked, at least, and some said that's why it became a symbol of elitism, at least you knew that somehow if people with a blue check mark tweeted something, that there was a high chance that it was actually them. But now it became much less reliable source of information within only 1.5 days. And having a blue check mark doesn't mean people are who they are anymore. So everyone can make use of the possibilities of these verified fake accounts. Also, you spread fake news, you spread some conspiracy theories, and in the end you claim, oh, but that wasn't me. Someone else built that fake account and it wasn't me, but who knows, So I think for those people who actually say these checkmarks became a symbol of elitism, I mean, scarcity evokes desire, right? So now everyone can buy themselves this blue check mark, but it's nothing special anymore. It doesn't mean anything anymore. It doesn't tell you anything, and it doesn't give you the feeling of this is actually a truthful source of information or not. So, and that's only within 1.5 days, which is, crazy.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Can I ask?
Yeah, please go ahead.
No. Tell us what you're not sure about.
I just wanted to jump in and say, when I read these news, I always think, is this Twitter news or is this Elon Musk news? Because it's really kind of a parody, and I'm watching these news, and I don't know how this company works, that he comes in as a CEO and makes all of these executive decisions and letting people go who are obviously critical for this company, making product decisions that are completely they do not make any sense.
Insane.
Yeah, it's insane. And even though you can criticize that this checkmark feature is faulty and not well designed or too slow, but it had a very precise purpose of verifying people and making this a viable feature. This makes no sense at all. But obviously there was no resistance or no voting against this or something. He simply decides this, and then it's happening, and it completely destroys this part of the Twitter company, right? So this is so weird that this actually can happen. Yeah, I mean,
and now he's also saying that it's on the table that they go bankrupt. But I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, if this is the way you kind of further develop your product,
I would love to know. So obviously, I mean, at first I would ask the question if you personally think it was a good step to buy to make it purchasable. But I think we're all having the same opinion on this, but that this is quite a ridiculous step. And I would love I just ask myself, we discussed this, I think, in an earlier tech review, that Twitter is not the social network which is social, but it is more the network where people say things, and it's the way to get, like, the alternative to a press release is that you tweet it and then it's more or less legitimate, right? So I ask myself if this doesn't destroy the only viable purpose that Twitter up until now had, because I mean we are so far developed. I just come out of a workshop from Meta, I told you guys, and what we discussed, looking at Facebook, which is also a questionable platform in a lot of ways, but is so much more powerful, right? And I asked myself, didn't Elon with that destroy the only purpose that Twitter had? Because now you don't know if it's the government talking about something, or if it's the president or somebody, or is it somebody else. So is it not possible that maybe now Twitter just becomes irrelevant? And I'm just really confused about that. On a different mark, Snapchat did something very similar, because also Snapchat saw that they needed an additional income stream. I mean, we saw that Snapchat has very big difficulties being a very iOS-focused app with the tracking requests that they send to their users, or they need to send to their users before they can start tracking, like they used to do in the past. And this is why they realized they need a different income stream. And so now Snapchat Plus is something available globally, but this doesn't give you it doesn't give you the verification a Snap Star button gives you. It gives you the Snap Plus verification. So I wonder to this point why didn't Elon copy that, because Snapchat actually saw quite a spike in purchases of this one within users that actually wanted to be more or less verified but weren't official enough to be verified. So I'm just very confused. Summarized. I'm sorry for the long comment.
I think we all are. I mean, this is because it doesn't make sense, this move. And you can still tweet on Twitter, obviously. Now you can buy this checkmark, but it doesn't mean anything anymore. You're not becoming famous or more heard or anything, because all the other features actually that are related to this higher price of Twitter Blue from, I think, $5 to $8, or from $4 to $8. None of the other features are there yet. So it's really just you get this blue check mark and that's it. And, you know, it became like irrelevant, like whether you have it or not. It doesn't make a difference other than people are confused and you cannot really rely on what's tweeted. As you said, it's the only purpose or the USP of Twitter that, was the number one source of if something's going on, if there's a crisis, if there's a blackout, if there's a whatever kind of political situation out there, people went to Twitter and wanted to know what is actually happening, and they had at least a little, like a high chance of this is reliable if, the German embassy is tweeting or Barack Obama is tweeting something with regards to that. But this is now gone because there are so many fake profiles, and there will be more fake accounts because, as I said, there's very little that they do against that, and it's very easy to set up these imposter accounts.
What does the market say, the analyst at Wall Street say, why Elon decided and Twitter decided to do that? Is it to boost direct revenues? Is it short-term thinking that led to this development? Because I'm not deep enough in the matter to say that, but this is for me the only reason I can see to bump up the short-term revenue, because obviously, they will make more revenue, even though I think maybe they also did not anticipate this heavy drop of advertisers on the platform. But this is fulfillable with other programmatic things and maybe lowering standards of advertising generally. But yeah, I don't see any other reason to do this.
Especially because if it's only the question of monetization, then he could stay with the old system, having a real verification, but make it purchasable. So you have to pay, but then after payment, you still have to be verified to earn this checkmark, right? So this would have made way more sense than actually removing the verification step from the verification process.
But most people who are verified are rich anyways. They wouldn't mind.
Yeah, just let them pay, and that, speeds up the process or anything, that you're first in line instead of at the very bottom or whatever. So it's just going faster. Or why don't you invest in, like automating this verification process to make it faster for the people doing it, like in the background, so that stuff like that. There's so many possibilities instead of just like that. That was the least possible option I would have taken.
Yeah, with everything that I read about this, it felt a little bit, and this is now, of course, very, evil to say this, but it felt as if Elon Musk was sabotaging Twitter. Like, I don't like Twitter anymore, so I will just burn it down by firing half of the staff and cripple like essential features like the verification mark, just to prove a point or something.
Looking at this, Twitter might be insolvent in a year. They were never a viable business, right? They have a drop in advertisers, they have a drop in usage, and they have now also this flawed system for the last, again, as I thought, or as I'm thinking, the last purpose. I really don't know where Elon is heading this, and I would love to know his plan. But isn't he like a guy we know for like big long-term plans? All of his companies have a goal and a purpose, which is way beyond our reality today. So, but where is this with Twitter?
You're totally right.
Yeah.
We are expecting Elon Musk to build our future base on Mars, right? He's going to build the colony, and he's starting interstellar colonization. So he must be a very smart person. But if we take a look at what happens right now at Twitter, I'm not sure if we actually want to trust him with colonization of Mars.
There's one quote also here with regards to what you asked, Vincent, and the author said, perhaps Musk is a business genius and he's figured out a way to get people to pay for online status. He's certainly gotten lots of people to talk about it. Luxury goods, businesses, also sales status can be very profitable. And maybe in half a year, it all makes sense. And we come together and we're like, okay, that was such a brilliant move. Nobody saw it coming. This is the way to go. But At this point, I don't know. I don't see that right now.
I really hope my article comes next, because this really pays into what you just said. I mean, not that I'm just realizing that it pays into it. Not that I was the genius anticipating that you would say that, but I really hope it comes next.
Let's check it out.
Let's check if
And
it's
now,
random generator.
this.
Yeah, Tarek. No!
There he
Yes!
is. The next one is Vincent.
What are the
Oh no, wait,
chances?
that's the wrong one. Sorry.
It works. My
Next one
picture's
is-
there. I'm happy.
Vincent. What a coincidence.
Not the one I wanted to share.
Oh, what?
The first one was correct. I
Oh, really?
think.
Sorry, then.
Yes. So the random generator actually randomly generated my article next. I
Trust
love
your
that.
random generator, Tarek. Trust it.
That's a sticker you need.
Since I can cut this in post, let's say, oh, on the first try, everything works perfectly.
Okay, well then 3, 2, 1.
If our tech review is valuable for you, please give us feedback with a like or a comment. That would help us tremendously and it wouldn't cost you anything. And if you don't want to miss the next episode, just click on the subscribe button. And now, back to the news.
Okay, well then 3, 2, 1. Wow, that's amazing.
Oh my god, that's the one.
No, Henrike, why do I think that this pays into what I wanted to say? What I'm bringing today is that TikTok is expanding its e-commerce service to the United States. They launched it in UK. It sucked. They made it better. Now it's in the US. And this to me brings up, and I have an answer for this. This brings up a question that I asked myself for a long time, because when you look at the Twitter app, you see. I'm talking to everybody now, not only Henrike. Sorry. I feel like I'm looking at you, Henrike. You see in your
I feel
specific
very in the
Instagram app.
spotlight.
No, but when you look at Instagram, right? I mean, shopping is in the heart of the app, right? It's one of the tabs at the bottom, and you can argue, yes, because Instagram wants to make money with it and everything, yes. But my core question is, who shops there? I would never go to the Instagram app to shop for something. I mean, I can admit that the ads are very helpful, and I bought a lot of shit already from the Instagram ads in between my stories. I agree that I did it, but I would never go to shopping. This is so random. And now TikTok is doing the same, implementing a shop system. And Tarek, maybe you can scroll down a bit, because there are screenshots of how it's happening. See, you can buy a cap and everything. And the answer to this question is the screenshot you're showing right now, because these are not screenshots from TikTok. It's screenshot out of Douyin. I hope I pronounce this right. The TikTok of China. It's the same app, just different databases. It's not completely the same, because their shopping is available for quite some time. And TikTok there can see, or ByteDance sees actually that Gen Zs and younger audiences, younger than millennials, are actually very likely to look for an item on their social platforms first before going to Google. So it looks like we are just not the audience for this. It looks like there are younger audiences who actually do love that they can search on their super app for everything.
Yeah, I mean,
and this is why now TikTok is pushing on this. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I interrupted you. No, I just
no. I was done. I'm monologuing every time.
You talked way too much.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm just thinking about it's not only the generational thing, but also that this business model of retailtainment is gigantic in Asia, and the Asian people, they actually love this, and they adopted this quite a while ago. And for years, I think they have these retailtainment programs in their apps, and it did not arrive in the Western world yet. In the US market and in the European market, we are simply not used to it. And I'm totally with you. I don't see myself going for shopping on Instagram. But the question is,
or TikTok,
yeah. I mean, in general, if I'm searching for a product, I'm doing like research on reviews and on Amazon and on Google and everything, and then I order wherever. Yeah, but I'm not directly shopping in these apps. I'm not sure if this is only a generational thing and Gen Z will adopt this. This is the big question, or if this is something that is simply an Asian thing and the Western world will not jump onto this train. I don't know yet. But this is something where I think everyone is trying on the Western market because it's a huge market. Because with a lot of trends, we see them starting in Asia and then swapping over to our markets. And so, as you said with the previous topic, maybe in 10 years from now, we are looking back and this will be the new way of shopping, and Amazon is gone because everybody is just shopping on TikTok. I don't know.
Honestly, I think the deal breaker for me is because, and I had this situation once, that as you said, Vincent, you saw a lot of ads and you bought from them, they influenced you, and we all have that. And I remember at one point, I remembered that there was once an ad in my feed for a jewelry brand. And I still had that in mind. And then I went on Instagram through the shopping thingy icon, and I tried to find this, but I didn't remember the name. I tried to look, and I randomly, I don't know even if it was possible to search for something. It was in a way, but obviously what was displayed there was not what I wanted to see. So I gave up after 5 minutes because I was like, I was never going to find it here and I'm never going to buy it. So if they, adapt or develop the product in that way that you can see what's, already been in your feed, what was, advertised to you, what was promoted, and then it makes it easier for you to find all this stuff again. Even without you clicking on it in the first place. For me, that would have been a use case because I was looking for something specific and I wasn't able to find it, and then I gave up. But then it would have been like an easy way to get me, okay, I found it, I can buy it, and that's the way for me to make use of that.
I agree. If you're looking for something specific, then I can see the point of implementing this, right? I mean, look at YouTube. They have a shop cooperation, I think, with Shopify, but I'm not quite sure, but I know that they have a shop integration. And the reason for that is because obviously YouTubers, we know it, sell a lot of merch. This is a very viable business for YouTube influencers or YouTube creators. I'm sorry, curators is the better word. And there it makes sense because if you look for something specific, I want that hoodie, I want that necklace, I want that whatever merch, right? Or you have a love brand and you want to go there and they're only social, it makes sense. But the screenshot from Daojin, they show that this is a very shop-based system. It's a brand. And I just said love brand, so I agree that there is a use case, but then again, a lot of people shop at regular chains, right? H&M, I don't know where people shop. Zara, where do people shop? I don't know.
Amazon.
The guy, yes,
where do you shop?
Yeah, I have a very specific case again, as you know, but I mean, and I don't see those shops opening up TikTok accounts, having content creators, and then making the conversion onto TikTok shopping, and even maybe dropping a small percentage of their purchase as a fee for TikTok. That doesn't make sense to me. This is too far away. But then again, I see Henrike, that for example with Twitter, right? I can see that if you maybe buy Twitter Blue in order to be able to set up a shop system, then I could see a long-term case in the long tail also for Twitter. I don't know, maybe we're just not the target audience.
So this was now circling back why this fits so perfectly.
Exactly.
Wow. It took a long way, but okay.
Yeah, and I'm sure, I mean, the brands, they will go where the buyers are. And so if there is actually a trend where people stop shopping on H&M.com, but actually only exclusively shop on TikTok because everybody is on TikTok, I'm very sure that H&M is going to buy 100 influencers and have them running their online shop on TikTok. And I'm absolutely sure. The same thing with the metaverse. Right now we are laughing about the metaverse and don't see this becoming like the mainstream thing. But if Gen Z actually starts going onto VR fashion shows and buying their clothes, the brands will jump so quickly in there and open up their flagship store on Prime Metaverse land somewhere.
I don't think it's so far off actually, because we spend way too much time on Instagram and TikTok and Snapchat and whatever. And when you see those people there, you watch their videos and you're like, oh, that's a great outfit. I wanna wear this as well. I wanna have this outfit. And then it's connected to the H&M site or whatever. It totally makes sense. And I see that actually coming, and people will make use of that.
And now, this.
I
Very heavy on social
I have to
media
make this longer. I'm not quick enough in switching to the next article.
It's the social media special maybe today.
Yes, it is. But isn't that also something you could do in post? So if we now say 3, 2, 1, and then, during a transition, Tarek, wow.
Absolutely. It's not that nice for the 2,000 people who are watching us live right now, but apart from that.
This is the extras they get, the in-between chit-chatting.
That's the TechReview
Please
Prime.
pay $6 for it. Yeah, it's TechReview Blue.
This is our USP.
Right, but you're totally right. So today we are totally talking about social media, and Wired.com is writing, the reason for Meta's massive layoffs is ghosts in the machine. And I personally love this article because it was summing up very nicely what we all didn't want to see in the past decade. And they are writing, in other words, Meta is overstaffed and underachieving. This means Mark Zuckerberg announced these mammoth layoffs at Meta where 11,000 people were let go. Yeah, we read about this. And this is about 13% of the whole company and nearly 3 times the number that were let go by Twitter. Yeah, so technically a way bigger news. And a former employee was saying, and that's a quote, "I just can't think in the last 5 years of a successful Meta app or feature that wasn't acquired." Yeah, and I think this is very interesting because we see Meta as this big driver of innovation. Yeah, but obviously everything that is successful in this company is what they are acquiring. And another quote, "It seemed like we were doing all these things that went nowhere, but we never got an update." Yeah, and there are these voices that are demanding for Mark Zuckerberg to step down as a CEO. And becoming a chairman, yeah, as the founder. And for me personally, this is very important because Meta is one of these main drivers in the realm of VR development. Yeah? And of course, we all know they are not the only company in this space, and Metaverse is supposed to be like an open system and everybody is going to support this. But Meta is the main driver and pumping so much money into the space, which is obviously also one of the core problems, right? But if they are now cleaning up their house and firing all these people and killing all these products that are not working and stopping the brands in their house that are not profitable, this might mean that also a lot of these projects in the metaverse space will be scrapped. Yeah, and this might be very, very sad and stop this evolution that we are seeing right now in these spaces. Yeah. And so for me, this is quite an interesting development. And even though it was sad what we read about Twitter and what is happening there, for me personally, I'm way more invested in the development and the future of Meta, because I have the feeling that this whole industry is depending on what Meta is doing. And so this is my headline of the week.
I totally agree, but I'm not quite sure if we need to be that scared, because I mean, just days ago, I mean, remember last week they had the quarterlies and everything, and I think just a few days ago, Mark said that they will spend even more on this. So I think that I'm not quite sure if we need to worry about the metaverse being scaled down in operation. And I agree with you that a lot of people said they were not quite happy with that, especially ex-Facebook, now Meta is investing so much money into this, but somebody needs to, right? This industry just needs a few, I don't know how many billions before we will see also startups, smaller stuffed and smaller financially stacked companies succeed in that space. So some giant needs to build up the first few not so good products before we will see something great. But I think I think that we don't need to worry about that. I mean, the other article I brought was about Facebook killing more or less the news space, that they're not investing there anymore because there's just so many things you can double down on, and Facebook and Instagram, all of those state of the art now, but Web 2.0 apps and projects and products, they are really doubling down on Reels in order to compete in that space, so it can fund the further develops in the metaverse. So I would disagree. I mean, it would be crazy. It would be extreme. It would be the worst if they stop now with that. But I don't think we will see that. I think that we will just see a faster decline in products that are more or less already in the declining stage anyways.
Yeah, it's a very good point. The only thing that I don't know is how realistic both pictures are, because the one picture is the one that Mark Zuckerberg is painting in his press releases and everything, that we are always seeing from Facebook and Meta as these super successful tech giant from the past decade. But this other picture that was painted from internally, that none of their internal products is succeeding, and all metaverse stuff is just a bottomless pit that eats revenue. I'm not sure how long Mark Zuckerberg will be able to keep this way of working up before the company collapses, or he is, I don't know if it's possible to forcefully replace him as CEO, but how long the company can continue on this path that it is on right now. And what we are seeing right now with all the layoffs of Amazon, of Twitter, of Facebook, Meta, there's happening so much in the space. So I don't know how 2023 is going to look like in the space, and how these companies have to evolve to stay profitable. And of course, the first assumption is that those branches and those projects which are not profitable are the first ones that have to go. Yeah, and I don't think that metaverse is something that will be profitable in a very short time.
We should definitely talk about this after the first quarter of 2023. I mean, everybody's expecting Apple to come with their first big AR tool, and I'm sure we're going to see a few others. I'm pretty sure that Microsoft will reboot its I don't even know the name anymore, something glasses and everything. I mean, they're building something for sure. Nvidia is coming, but specifically Apple. And I think Mark bets heavily on Apple presents something that is not close as good as the Meta Quest then in that time will be. But I'm sure that, for example, if Apple reveals their AR glasses, and I mean, we can expect that from Apple, that this is definitely a realistic possibility, that when Apple reveals something that is not state of the art, but so beyond our imagination, right? Like so beyond of what we think of the metaverse today, even though it's AR, not VR, right? I mean, we need to be careful. I think then the air is going to be really thin for Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. One thing that is new today is that we are stripping down the tech review to a 30-minute format, but as a replacement for the other 30 minutes, we are going to release the next episode already next week. So if you are listening to us right now, you can be thrilled to hear episode 38 next week. 30 minutes. We believe that this is way more compact and easier to digest. And so we all are looking forward to this new compressed format. If you have an opinion about that, let us know in the comments wherever you are listening or viewing us. And for now, I say good night and talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.